big boys. Sabora is the older man by 2 years. He's got 4 centimeters on his Egyptian opponent.
Let's take a look at their strengths. Their striking is pretty even. Grappling and cage control. These guys are very well matched fighters about to get it on.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next fight is 3 rounds of 5 minutes in the ONE Championship Light Heavyweight Division. And it is brought to you by Century Park Hotel. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He is the Evolution Light Heavyweight Champion, standing at 187 centimeters tall, holding a professional MMA record of 8 wins and 1 loss. Representing Egyptian top team and fighting out of Cairo, Egypt, he is Sharif the Shark Mohammed. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. He is a URCC heavyweight champion, standing at 191 centimeters tall, holding a professional MMA record of 5 wins and 3 losses. Representing this gym and fighting out of Manila, Philippines, from Ukraine, presenting Igor Sabora! When the action begins, your referee in charge, Mr. Olivier Coste.
Hi guys, watch out for headbutt, low blow, back of the head, inspired. Inside my command return, defend yourself at all time. Touch grab if you want, back your corner.
That big difference in height, very visible indeed, and you could hear the crowd oohing and eyeing as they came together. There's a Burger King Fight of the Night on offer this evening. Whether this one gets that award or not is very likely that it won't last long. Here are the early seconds. Watch carefully. Big, big boys.
Igor Sabora has told me repeatedly that he believes that his boxing is going to be the difference maker in this fight. He doesn't believe Mohammed moves his head very much. He's a very stationary target. But Mohammed's being a bit more active here, I think, as Sabora kind of settles into his rhythm.
I think what he's trying to do here is keep Sabora at range with those kicks, isn't he? He doesn't want Sabora coming in too close, because that really is, when they're side by side, they're a big size difference, height-wise anyway.
Mohammed's legs look to be about the size of Sabora's arms.
Well, he's a big framed guy. Look at those shoulders as well.
The height difference looks to be a bit more than 4 centimeters.
It does.
Steve.
Yeah, I must say, it certainly does. Maybe he's got lifts in those feet or something. Oh, that rocked him. The first right hand thrown by Sabora, and it just shook up the Egyptian.
Sabora's consistently pushing forward, but Mohammed's being active. He's thrown a lot of strikes, really attacking the legs of Sabora with those leg kicks.
That must be part of the plan, and he goes for the takedown and gets it in driving rugby fashion.
Big takedown from Mohammed as he's able to just bull rush Sabora, and now he's got an arm in guillotine, landing some knees.
Knees to the head, they're landing, although it's more of the thigh to the head, which is not quite as damaging. Got the guillotine in there, but Sabora goes over.
Uses kind of like a head snap suplex there.
There's an arm in.
Sabora trying to go after the leg there, gets him up against the cage, laces it down, secures the double leg. Now he's in the guard of Mohammed, so now he's trying to press ahead, avoid a little bit of the elbows. He can't elbow the back of the head, so that's what Olivier Coste was warned about there.
An illegal blow to the back of the head is defined as one that doesn't touch either ear. So keep an eye on that. Strong man, isn't he, Sharif Mohammed?
Mohammed's just kind of lacing the arms around there, pinning Sabora in that position. Now he's got the butterfly guard where his feet are on the inside of Sabora's thighs.
No holding what?
Possibly trying to use it to stand back up.
Not a great deal Sabora can do from here, is there, Mitch?
Not really. I mean, he's really got to try to get his arms free. You can see him using his head to kind of pin down Mohammed so that he's maybe possibly able to slide his arms out. But Mohammed's actually trying to hip escape out. He's trying to move.
This fight is brought to you by Century Park Hotel. We're just beyond the halfway mark in the first round, and you can already see the strength that Sharif Muhammad can exert on this man who seems so much taller than him.
Yeah, but Sabora was easily able to pass into full mount position now, and Muhammad's just holding on the head to avoid a little bit of that ground and pound. If Sabora postures up and starts dropping bombs, this is going to be a bad position for Muhammad to be in. You got to worry about Muhammad gassing out his arms by trying to clinch this much and hold on to Sabora. We saw it earlier in the guard. He was lacing his arms. Now he's holding his body and his head.
It's not going to be a walk in the park for Sabora either, as he sends those elbows into the top of the Egyptian's head. He uses those big hands of his to try and push that head down and perhaps break that guard around his back.
All he's doing by holding on to Sabora and keeping his head close to the body is he's avoiding the shots, but he's really got to let go and start to move away, create some distance so that he can get out of this position, because he's kind of just holding himself in this position.
Approaching the final minute of this opening round, and what looked to many of us like something of an explosive slugfest has not been that at all.
You know, like in the first, we saw the first half of the fight was completely different than the second. Muhammad
for Sabora to land some punches, but Sharif gets out of it, and we'll see out these last 20 seconds on his feet if he can withstand the right hand of Sabora. Gets in close to try and nullify that, and they're both throwing right hands, but surely this round is going to finish such that we'll see a second as Sharif backs off.
See, you gotta wonder how tired Muhammad is from using those clinched positions and really sucking his energy, because he spent a lot of time on the ground holding on to the giant Sabora to eliminate any sort of ground and pound that happened. Rich, how did you see that round?
Look, I'm going to agree with you, Mitch, on Muhammad being tired. I mean, first of all, he's squeezing a lot, and Sabora's a big guy to have to hold on to that. But quite frankly, you may be surprised, since Sabora spent a lot of time in the mount in that round, but I actually have Muhammad ahead. He was active with the leg kicks at the beginning of the round, had a nice takedown, landed some knees, but you can see the damage on the back of Sabora's leg. Although not significant, there is still some damage there. When Sabora was in the mount, he really didn't do anything with it. So at this point in time, Muhammad ahead slightly on the scorecards.
Interesting, isn't it? What I saw initially as a defensive move, those kicks just to keep distance, to keep the big man away from him, obviously is actually a point-scoring maneuver, and that's why Rich sees him as perhaps being slightly ahead after this first 5 minutes. Don't forget, we score the fight in its entirety, not round by round, so nobody's got 1/3 of the fight in the bag by any means. There's plenty to play for here. Now, how much of a say in this fight will cardio have? Both of them now fighting open mouth. Sabora looking heavy-limbed as well. Oh, left hand as he came in there. I think he was looking to unleash the Superman punch, but Sharif Muhammad clipped him with a solid left hand and said, back off. Right hand from Sabora lands flush.
Yeah, we're just not seeing the activity from Muhammad, because he was very active in the first round. His mouth's open, his body's moving completely different than he did in the first round. I do believe he's exhausted. If Sabora can jump on him at this point, he might be able to finish in this round.
This may not last too long. You can see that they're throwing single punches because they're both arm-weary at this stage. Whoever lands the first big punch, it could signal a big turn in this contest.
But Sabora was also using a lot of energy by trying to get away from Muhammad, but there's a little bit of the striking landed. Didn't really connect cleanly with any of those shots.
Sharif looks a little shaken up to me. His punches are way short, as you can see. And Sabora is the man with that longer reach, the big height advantage. I think he's just looking to land 1 or 2 heavy punches. And really the only way out for Sharif Muhammad is to get back down to the mat, and that's why perhaps he's going for the takedown there.
But easily Sabora is able to spin him around, and he goes right back to that body clinch. He's got one hand under the armpit of Sabora, one hand over, and he's really just holding on here. So if Sabora can drop down, maybe take a leg or maybe a trip, he could possibly get on top of this fight. You can see his corner, Sabora's corner, AJ Matthews there, one of his training partners.
Oh, there come the punches from the Egyptian. He's really unleashing now. Sees this chance and tries to take it.
That was an emotional outburst.
It was.
They both just stood there and just started swinging.
There's a little bit of blood on the Egyptian's nose, right between the eyes there. He just had a little wipe of it to see if there was any damage, and there indeed is. Sabora, oh, look, it's so difficult for these men.
Enthusiasm that he had in that first takedown, does he?
How hard is it, though?
Charged in and kind of gave up on it.
Carrying that kind of weight around for any prolonged period of time in any kind of intensity must be so difficult. And that takedown just went very badly.
Very easily stuffed by Sabora. He was able to get the hips back and prevent the takedown.
And now he's taking elbows to the head.
Watch out!
He's trying, Sharif Muhammad's trying to get the single leg, but he's taking a lot of shots there as well. If Sabora can start to unleash a little bit, he might be able to do some damage. He's got to get his hips down, sprawl out away, but that cage is preventing him from sprawling correctly.
Difficult to not land a punch that's legal. The back of the head is all that's exposed at the moment. He's tucking everything else away. That hammer blow to the side of the head, perfectly okay.
He's got one leg laced in there. He looks like he's still trying to fight for that single leg there.
Not a comfortable position either, is it? That'll put a bit of torque on the knee. And that's what I think Sharif Muhammad's trying to do, just push forward and get as much of a twist on that knee as he can.
Yeah, but both guys seem to be in compromising positions.
Go, what?
They might get stood up here. They're both cranking on each other's legs and odd angles. Not really attempting any submission by any means, but they're definitely trying to scramble into it. And it looks like Sabora's going to end up in the north-south position. And again, you can see Sharif Muhammad rather, holding on there to keep Sabora close to him so he doesn't land any big shots.
Just as they took a minute's rest, or a second's rest, I should say, Olivier Coste asked for a little bit of action.
See, this is what Sabora should do. He should just relax, and he should just pressure down, land a little bit of strikes to keep the position. You know, unless he can land a submission here, if he has an Americana, you know, there possibly, maybe a Von Flue choke, but what he's got now, he's just got to relax. He just has to let Sharif Muhammad expend all of his energy trying to get back up. They're probably going to see the third round here. And if Sabora can use these 30 seconds to really regain some energy, he might have a slight advantage as we get into the third round.
Size seems to be playing its part in this second round. You can see those big knees, the right knee of Sabora being pulled back and delivered towards the head. Wonder how much of an impact that'll have on Rich's scoring when we go to him between rounds. 15 seconds left in the second. That cut between the eyes of Sharif Muhammad not causing him any trouble whatsoever. Nothing much more than a graze.
See, and that's what Sabora's doing. He's relaxing. He's not expending a lot of energy. He's really trying to recuperate so that now he can go back to his corner, get that full 60 seconds, and really come back strong in the third.
10 minutes of hard work done.
There's a little bit of exchange earlier, and there's this is where the fight's really been played out a little bit. There's some nice hands exchange, that emotional exchange where I'm talking about, and they're just barely missing each other with a lot of those strikes, just kind of punching each other in the chest. Rich, how did you have that round broken down?
This is a very difficult fight to score. I'll tell you what, in that round, Igor Sabora landed some points for me on his takedown defense, as he did in the first round as well. You know, Muhammad kept shooting takedowns, and Igor was defending that. So he is controlling the pace of the fight more in this second round. He was able to defend that takedown and then use that to actually gain good position and control the ground. He didn't mount a lot of damage in that round. And you're right, Igor's a big, heavy guy, and he should be using his weight more to make Muhammad tired, to pressure him, and be able to land those strikes, but he hasn't taken advantage of that yet. At this point in time, if the fight was stopped, I would give Igor the fight.
I love the way you describe that little exchange as an angry moment between the two. It could just take one of those on either side just to finish the fight, couldn't it? So big are these guys, and so much of a part cardio is playing. That's going to be a big factor here with 5 minutes left.
I think that's what this round is going to come down to. Who can reach down inside themselves, and who's going to want the win more? they're not going to want to go back to the locker room and be like, oh, I should have tried a little bit harder there in that third round, because according to Rich Franklin, it's pretty close right now. Sabora's just slightly ahead.
Roger Gracie is the light heavyweight champion. And that's who these two are aiming at. Uppercut from Subora. And it was well taken by Sharif Muhammad.
That leg kick is Muhammad Sharif's best weapon. He's able to land it repeatedly. If he sets it up more, throws a little bit of the hands, goes down low with the leg kick again, he's going to increase the damage on that right leg, or the left leg route.
Just get the impression that this crowd here in Jakarta's waiting and watching carefully. That big bomb could come any second. Left hand from Subora tags his opponent. Little bit of wasted energy there. You see it again from Sharif Muhammad. He's throwing 1-2s, left, rights that are landing a good 12 inches or so short of the target. Maybe he's just using it to fend off his opponent.
But he set up the low kick with it, so he can't reach him with his hands, but he's connecting with the low kick.
And I think that was his plan from the very beginning, wasn't it? He sent in all those low kicks early on in the fight, but so difficult, Mitch, isn't it, to fight someone of this size? And the cage nearly breaks as Subora comes clattering above us.
But as a light heavyweight, you're gonna be in there with big individuals. That's what that category is built around. Big guys that are just a little bit leaner. So I'm sure that Sharif Muhammad has been in there with guys this size because of the weight that he's choosing to fight at.
My exaggeration, of course. This cage is very safe. The best environment for these fighters to exhibit their talents. It's never going to fall apart, but it rattled a little bit with the sheer bulk of these two slamming against it. That was the most telegraphed uppercut I think I've ever seen. Again, the fatigue comes in. They are swinging for the fences. There it is again, a big swinging right hand, but he's getting picked off by Subora once he follows through with it.
You can just see the exhaustion in these guys. They are reaching into their back pocket to throw these punches.
2.5 minutes left. These two are very tired, and it's anybody's game.
But Sabora's using the strikes correctly. He's throwing the jab while you see Sharif was kind of throwing a little bit bigger, loopier punches. So Sabora's a little bit crisper with his shots. Just like that, he ended a nice 1-2 as Muhammad tried to shoot in for a takedown again. His hands are down by his waist. I believe he is exhausted.
Still going for that takedown, isn't he, when he sees that opportunity, though, Sharif Muhammad. But Sabora's the one that's inching forward. And he's got that big bomb in either hand, hasn't he? Little burst there from Sharif as he comes forward and throws a right hand. A left and a right as well, just cupping blows, though.
That leg kick is his best weapon. He's been able to land it repeatedly on the lead leg of Subora.
Left hand lands very nicely from Subora, right on the chin. Not an awful lot in it, but it landed and it was accurate. Another little effort from Sharif Muhammad to see what he can get out of this last 90 seconds. It's close enough, certainly close enough for him to make a difference here with a sustained attack.
See, again with the leg kick, he's got to keep going back to that. I like to see him step in a little bit closer, close the distance. He's trying to do it. Rich, do you think Muhammad needs a knockout here?
He's got a minute left in this round. Igor hasn't accumulated that much of a lead. He's extended his lead in this round. He's doing a better job of picking punches. But this is the danger with somebody like Muhammad. He'll come forward and land a big shot.
Subora's running away. He must think he's got the fight in the bag, and it's getting boos here from the Jakarta crowd. He lands a decent uppercut that stops Sharif Muhammad in his tracks. But there's no question Sharif Muhammad is really chasing this one. He's realizing that he's probably got something left to do here, and he's now taking the fight to Subora in the dying moments.
He's trying to
right hand, and it's shaken Subora, and he's backed up against the cage. Right hand from Subora comes back. What an effort this is from the Egyptian, when we thought he probably spent all he had in the bank.
See, that's what I was talking about. He's reaching down deep inside and really trying to put it on Subora. Subora spins him around up against the cage and landed some knees there to the body.
Knees to the body from Subora. That's the final bell. We've seen 15 minutes, and these guys have given their all, lugging their huge frames around this cage. Rich Franklin, You've been looking at this one carefully. I just see Richard just thrown his hand up in the air.
I'll tell you, these guys making my job hard tonight. Look, Muhammad earned some points towards the end there in the aggression category, but that's our lowest scoring category. He landed some punches, but I think that Igor Sabora landed more punches on the stat chart there at the end. He had the lead at the end of the second round. I think he extended his lead with this, and that's the telltale right there with that replay.
See, you can see Sabora just landing the cleaner, crisper shots. You can see the wild, blazing attacks of Muhammad, but you can see that Sabora's keeping his composure and he's landing clean strikes that are connecting a lot more in the striking superiority category.
So, tough one for the judges here. I can tell you that out of your picture, Igor Sabora's clenching his fist and giving us the impression that he's won the fight. Sharif Muhammad will have something to say about that. Here's Dom Lau.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of intense battle, we now turn to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges have scored in favor for your winner by way of unanimous decision from the red corner, Igor Sabora.
A win for Igor Sabora then. He's done it again. 5-3. Turns to 6-3 with a unanimous decision. But what a great effort from the Egyptian Sharif Muhammad. These big boys gave it their everything. And it is the Ukraine fighter who gets the win. We're coming back.